very much. Speaker number 7 is Tanika Duhaney, to be followed by Clayton Medford, Nicole Miller, and Arthur Purvis. Is Tanika Duhaney here? Tanika Duhaney, speaker number 7. Okay. Speaker number 8 will be Clayton Medford. Welcome, Clayton.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Chairman McKay, members of the Board of Supervisors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. My name is Clayton Medford, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Government Relations at the NOVA Chamber, NVC. At our core, NVC and our members support a budget that is about empowerment, empowering local businesses to grow through reasonable taxes and regulations, empowering county employees to engage directly with businesses, and ultimately empowering Fairfax County to lead the region in economic competitiveness, affordability, and quality of life. However, the business community is currently facing a challenging time collaborating with government on once valuable partnership that brought decades of prosperity to our region. This is not a new challenge and has been growing for some time. Just last week, NVC released the results of our Q1 2026 Northern Virginia Business Leaders Survey, which paints a picture of an economy marked by uncertainty. 66% of business leaders expect the Northern Virginia economy to stagnate or decline over the next 6 months, and 56% expressed pessimism about the national economy, even as 67% remain optimistic about their own company's performance. That mix suggests businesses still see opportunity here, but are navigating a challenging environment shaped by cost pressures, policy concerns, and caution about broader market conditions. In that kind of climate, success depends on business and government working together. Employers need a local and state policy environment that supports growth, affordability, and talent, while government needs to stay closely connected to the business community to understand the barriers, respond with practical solutions, and strengthen the region's competitiveness. Turning to the advertised budget, first on taxes, we appreciate the challenge of this budget environment, and we recognize the difficult choices before you. We understand that local revenue options are limited and that the real estate tax carries an outsized share of the burden. In that context, we deeply appreciate the effort to keep any increase modest. At the same time, we ask the Board to continue considering the cumulative effect of the full local tax structure on business growth. It is not only the real estate tax that shapes competitiveness. The BPOL, the meals tax, hotel occupancy tax, and other taxes and fees also affect the cost of doing business in Fairfax County. When employers look at whether to expand, relocate, or invest, or to simply continue operating, they experience these costs simultaneously, not one at a time. We also want to commend you and the county executive for making the difficult decision to reprioritize your bonds. Deferring new construction is never easy. Maintenance needs do not disappear, and those bills will always come due in some form. But in this climate and in a moment of broader economic uncertainty, it's a prudent decision. And just as important, it creates room to advance housing-related priorities, which are central to NOVA roadmap and to the county's long-term competitiveness. Second, Fairfax County needs stronger economic development tools, which you heard about a little earlier. The NOVA roadmap calls for an economy that competes by design and not by default. Historically, our region has not relied heavily on tools such as deferrals and direct incentives and flexible deal structures to attract and retain business investment. But that time has passed, and frankly, it passed long ago. We ask you to provide adequate funding and flexibility for the EDA to aggressively pursue new business opportunities and to support the expansion of existing businesses that are rooted here. That includes consideration of the kinds of tools that Chairman McKay described in his board matter just last year on economic development. This funding could come through increasing the cap on the Economic Opportunity Reserve or through other means at your disposal. Either way, Fairfax County needs to be able to move quickly when opportunities arise. The recent sale of the Police Training Center is a strong example of the kind of public-private deal that can produce a win-win outcome and shows what is possible when the county is agile, strategic, and willing to think differently. Third, taking a small step back from the budget, the business community believes housing and economic development must be treated as inseparable. The county's Housing Task Force draft initiatives are just the kind of implementation plan envisioned in our NOVA roadmap's goal on housing affordability. Repositioning aging commercial centers, piloting compact housing villages, and expanding accessory living units all increase the range of housing choices near jobs and transit. Proposed financing tools, incentives, and homebuyer assistance strategies translate broad goals into concrete products that can unlock mixed income development. And most importantly, the direction to streamline development policies, clarify road and code standards, and foster a yes-if culture responds to what both the roadmap and the development community have said clearly. Northern Virginia cannot remain economically competitive if more and more of its workforce cannot afford to live here. Finally, we encourage you to think about empowerment not only in terms of policy and budget, but also in terms of culture. How are you creating an environment where staff across agencies are encouraged to go into the community, hear new ideas, and bring those ideas back for serious consideration? With economic uncertainty and budget constraints, streamlining government is imperative, but it takes time. A culture and budget aimed at establishing both the support and the expectation that county staff should be proactive, outward-facing, and focused on solutions would be a major step forward in creating a new economy. Every agency should feel empowered to work with the private sector to identify opportunities for economic growth and then bring those back to you, bring those opportunities forward. So our 3 budget asks are straightforward: keep the tax rate flat, fund economic incentives, and proactively engage with the business community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our